team, our town, our time. The Zags tip in less than 24 hours will let you know where to watch, plus when our other local teams play. Tonight, the Eastern Washington University president is condemning racist graffiti that targeted a student athlete and their roommate. We'll hear from him in an exclusive interview tonight.
Spring officially begins on Saturday, but cool and unsettled weather on the way for the Inland Northwest.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to have you here. I'm Regina Ahn. Well, this is a video that has the sports world talking tonight. A University of Oregon women's basketball player took to social media to point out the stark differences between facilities for men and women at the NCAA tournament. 24 hours later, the TikTok videos racked up more than 13 million views. It sparked a conversation about equal treatment for female athletes, and it's led the NCAA to apologize. Brenna Green joining us now after catching up with both of our local teams in the women's tournament today.
Yeah, I spoke to both Gonzaga and WSU players today, and the Bulldogs and Cougs agree here. Things have got to improve.
When you see the comparisons on social media, it's pretty disappointing.
When the Gonzaga women went to their first weightlifting session in San Antonio, they immediately had to scramble. The lone weight rack with 12 weights that was provided was hardly enough for their 16 players' weight training needs. Trainer Mike Nielsen, who was a member of the Zags' legendary 1999 NCAA tournament team, had to make some quick revisions and get to work.
He was like, you can make gains or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. And so we're just trying to make the best of the situation.
Some of the differences between the men's and women's bubbles outside of the weight rooms include the quality of food and the swag bags. Okanagan native Jill Townsend voiced her displeasure today.
You saw the weight room, obviously, and the weight room serves as a health standpoint for us. It's injury prevention. And then I know the men's side is kind of getting this outdoor field to where they're able to go and play games and do different stuff. Our only out time that we get is our walk to get tested. And so I think from a mental health standpoint in the outside and a health standpoint within the weight rooms and food, there kind of is no reason for that disparity between the men and women's side. We deserved our health and mental health to be taken just as seriously as the men.
Some companies have put their money where their mouth is. Dick's Sporting Goods says they have U-Hauls with workout equipment ready to go, and Orange Theory offered up their equipment as well. Townsend says it's bittersweet that these companies have to step in to try to shore up the NCAA's problems, but she's grateful that they care.
To see these companies step up and put themselves kind of on the line for us women to get just as equal as treatment as the men's side. It is really cool to see just how that kind of call has taken up across the nation.
WSU forward Bella Murakatete summed up the players' feelings about the bubble in one 10-second soundbite.
They just need to do better in general, and it's not like we're not like appreciating what they're doing. It's just like the way, it's just like, yeah, they need to do better.
Gonzaga women's basketball head coach Lisa Fortier noted in her media availability that a few members on staff brought weights and TRX straps for themselves to the bubble. If they have to give those up to their student athletes in order for them to get some sort of training in, the staff is prepared to do that. Back to you.
Brenna, thank you. Well, this year, a record 4 teams from the Inland Northwest are headed to the big dance. The previous record was 3, which has happened 3 times. So when is everyone playing? The overall top seed, the Gonzaga men, will square off against Norfolk State this Saturday, 6:20 on TBS. Norfolk did advance with a narrow victory against Appalachian State late last night in a 54-53 win. The Eastern Washington men also awarded a number 14 seed. They will take on Kansas at 10:15 in the morning. Also on TBS. The WSU women headed back to the tournament for the first time in 30 years. They were awarded a number 9 seed. Will play number 8 seed South Florida on Sunday. That will air on ESPN2. Tip-off is at 6:30. And the Gonzaga women were named a number 5 seed. They will play number 12 Belmont next Monday at 1. That will also air on ESPN2. Well, we are less than 24 hours until Gonzaga suits up for the first time this tournament. Most fans will be cheering the team on from afar this year, but many will still be connected via social media. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones has that story tonight.
I think the best part about March Madness is that literally no one knows what's going to happen. You can throw out the analytics, throw out the brackets, throw out all of the regular season records, because once the ball tips off, it's anybody's game. This weekend starts Gonzaga's next chapter of trying to make history. The players will be taking the court, and fans will go just as hard on social media.
I'm terrified for the tournament, though, honestly.
The Slipper Still Fits is a sports blog dedicated to all things Zags basketball. More than 8,300 people follow them on Twitter.
Non-stop basketball action. People are going crazy, buzzer beaters, Cinderella stories. Like, what does March Madness mean to you?
It's just, I think it's the greatest sports spectacle in America.
Peter Woodburn is a 2005 graduate from the university, and over the last 6 years, he's run the site's account. Gonzaga is no stranger to postseason play. Unfortunately, none of their tournament runs have resulted in a championship, but this could be the year that changes. For starters, they're the only school that hasn't lost a game this entire season, so expectations are high, and that's causing a bit of stress for some of the biggest advocates.
I think sometimes the fan bases almost take themselves a little bit too seriously. So I like to try and bring in a little bit of light into it.
Followers of the page frequently get lighthearted jokes and memes to balance out intense games that come down to the wire. It helps amplify the fan experience by connecting with a larger community.
And in this kind of pandemic where we're all stuck in our own homes, it is also a really nice way to actually almost feel like, you're at a bar watching it with people. Like I'm not just sitting here by myself with my wife, occasionally glancing up at the TV.
Gonzaga basketball is a lifestyle for dedicated fans like Peter. A win or loss can drastically change your mood. Come 6:20 p.m. on Saturday evening, the Slipper Still Fits will be locked into the Zags for what could be a magical run in the tourney.
So I'm just going to try and kind of, do some yoga, do some meditation, whatever it takes to just kind of like clear the head and be like, all right, like, let's watch them play and root for them because, it's one game at a time, and that's all we can ask for.
From Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KROM 2 News.
Well, high school football teams welcome fans back into the stands for the first time this season tonight. 25% capacity just in time at Central Valley High School, who had a big game against Mount Spokane. The Bears currently lead 12-7 in the third quarter. Turning to other news now, problems at Spokane's VA hospital are going to be the subject of a federal review. The Mann-Grandstaff Medical Center has served as essentially a pilot program for the VA's new electronic record-keeping system. But according to a letter from Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers, that rollout has been shaky at best. Veterans and staff have reported a series of problems with the new system, causing some patients to get the wrong prescriptions or not get their medications at all. There have been issues with the online patient portal as well. The Congresswoman says she's heard it all had an extremely negative effect on morale at the VA, even bringing some nurses to tears. Today, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs responded to the letter, launching a strategic review over the next couple of weeks to figure out what's going on. The VA may also delay rolling out the system at other hospitals as a result. Eastern Washington University interim president David May condemning racist graffiti that targeted a student athlete and their roommate. The university was notified about this racist graffiti and vandalism at the Eagle Point Apartments. Our Morgan Trout spoke exclusively with him today to learn more about this attack and his powerful statement in solidarity with a football player and his roommate.
In the wake of the deadly shootings in Atlanta, Eastern Washington University lowered its flags to show solidarity to the majority Asian American victims. The same day, racially motivated graffiti was found on the door of a black student athlete's apartment.
This didn't happen yesterday. This has been happening for a long time.
In a statement to the community, interim president David May draws comparisons to racial attacks both on and off campus. In 2018, EWU spoke out against racial flyers found on their campus that were promoting a group believed to be a white supremacist organization. He says he didn't want to just issue a generic, constrained presidential statement about being disappointed. He wanted to do more.
Yeah, I just got to a point where I had to say something as loudly as I could. I said to someone, what I have right now in this moment that I can use to help is my bully pulpit.
In his statement, May says he called the despicable act what it was, a, quote, repugnant racist attack, end quote, on a football player and his roommate.
You have to choose a side right now. Either you are willing to allow this as part of the discourse, or you are willing to stand up and say, that is not acceptable.
He adds there is room for discussion, but no room for hate at the university. We reached out to the Black Student Union, the Student Association, the Africana Studies Department, and local human rights coalitions. But the school is on spring break, so we were unable to connect. But we will be following up with each group. Anyone who knows anything about the graffiti and vandalism is asked to report it to Cheney or University Police. Reporting in Cheney, Morgan Trow, KREM 2 News.
Let's turn things over to weather now. Happy Friday, everybody, as we head into the weekend. I'm just curious to see if we're going to still see those nice temperatures. I'm hearing of rain, snow. Let's get to Michelle Boss now, joining us from home.
Well, we enjoyed some milder temperatures earlier this week, but temperatures are certainly going to be trending downward for this weekend. Saturday, the first day of spring, so we are going to see some unsettled, more volatile weather. As we take a look outside right now, we've got temperatures in the 30s and 40s for the most part. Kind of chilly in Coeur d'Alene, 34 degrees already. We're still holding on to 40s in Spokane. It is also down into the mid-30s in Deer Park. Mild in Moses Lake, 50 degrees at the 11 o'clock hour and 40 degrees in Lewiston. Here's a look at satellite and radar. Most of what you're seeing there is ground clutter. We did see some showers earlier today. Those have settled down, and looking at mainly dry conditions overnight as overnight low temperatures drop into the middle and upper 30s. We should start off our day on a dry note, but could see some showers for the afternoon on our first day of spring. Struggling to make it to 50 degrees, though, as some cooler air gets pushed into the area. Downright chilly on Sunday, starting off at 29 degrees. Should be a mostly cloudy day with highs only in the mid-40s. And then you're not seeing things on Monday. We do have a chance of some rain and snow, potentially just plain old snow Monday morning, starting off the day right around freezing. All that snow should disappear by the afternoon, though, with highs in the upper 40s.
So we'll just get through Monday. All right, Michelle, thank you.